Hey, what up, guys? It's me again, and welcome to the This Is My Moment podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Mitchell. And you know, at This Is My Moment, we love having a good time, we love smiling, and we love meeting new people. Let's go get it.
There ain't no stopping it. This is my moment. Join the movement. We bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all about growth.
Today, I got someone on the other end that has a lot going on. And I mean a lot. I want to see what's shaking. Introduce yourself to the family.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Alise Saunders. I am a digital nomad travel blogger and bookkeeper. I also teach life skills.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, it's funny, right? You haven't stopped smiling since we started talking off camera. I love it. So let's go to work. So you talked about in your opening a digital nomad travel blogger.
Yeah.
I know what a nomad is.
Yes.
I know what a vlogger is.
Yeah.
How are you doing this? What are you doing?
Yeah, so digital nomad travel blogger. So it means that my work is on the road, right? It's virtual, it's remote. So I created a business. It's my bookkeeping company, right? So that's my dollars and cents.
Yeah.
And so, I can do that from anywhere. I can service my clients anywhere in the country. So I was like, why do I need to stay in the same place? Like, how cool would it be to travel the country, to travel the world and, make a living while I'm doing it? And so that's what I decided to do. And then it just kind of evolved into a whole separate business because so many people were interested in what are you mean you work, but you travel and you're doing all these fun, amazing things and you're moving to Greece and, like, how did you do that? I want to do that, because remote work is so easy post-COVID now. Like it's just at our fingertips, right? People are expecting to be able to have flexibility in their work.
Yeah.
So we just did it. So
how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so we've been on the road about 600 consecutive days.
Goodness.
Yeah, so we sold everything, right? We have no home to return to. All of our belongings fit in our car. We have a really small, tiny storage unit in Texas. And, that has like valuables, right? Art, things like that we just didn't want to part with. But right. I mean, everything that we really own is in our vehicle. We travel with our 2 cats. We stay in Airbnbs and we pretty much move every 30 days, except the current location where we are talking to you right now. We're actually here for 3 months.
Yeah.
Just because we have so much preparation to get ready to go to Greece next year in March.
I'm gonna tell you, so before I started doing my podcast, right, I was a over the road truck driver. Like I had my own truck driving business, and I was on the road a lot. I was driving a lot. I was seeing a lot of America's country, and I'm looking at it, man. I'm like, man, but I got so bogged down by always being gone, right? Yeah. How do you stay motivated to just jump in the car, like, and then, like, how do you do that?
Sure. I mean, honestly, I love it. I think that this is the best life ever. For the first time, I can honestly say that I feel like I am fully living life, right? I feel expanding. I feel out of the cage that I really felt like I had lived so much of my life in, where I'm out in nature, I'm experiencing new things, I'm meeting incredible people. I am, one day I'm skiing, the next day I'm learning about, Native American pueblos and speaking to Native American artisans who are teaching me about their culture and their art. The next day, I could be river rafting. The next day, I'm on an epic hike in the Narrows in Zion. I mean, that's my life. Like I get up really early in the morning and I do the job, right? I do the business aspect. I serve my bookkeeping clients. Yeah. But by the afternoon, it's like, okay, what life are we ready to live? What experience are we ready to have? Wow. And, so most of the afternoons are spent doing something fun and exciting and outdoors and connecting with people in nature. And this just every day is exciting. Every day is alive and engaging and invigorating. I can't imagine not doing it.
That's amazing. And the energy that you bring into the show is ridiculous. So like you got something, sister, and you understand what you got because you are doing it. I wanted to ask you, I'm gonna talk about Greece. But I'm gonna ask you this first. When I was on the road, right, Wi-Fi was always a problem. So when I was trying to do my "this is my moment" stuff and put out my money, right. How do you, in the middle of nowhere, do your bookkeeper? Like, because I know you still got to pay bills. You got to have your gas. You got to have money for your BRBs and all that stuff. Like, how are you staying connected? Like, you got some kind of super internet? What you got?
We have only had one Airbnb that had really bad Wi-Fi in the almost 2 years that we have been on the road traveling doing this. And it really comes down to doing my due diligence. When we choose that Airbnb, one of the conversations is talk to me about your Wi-Fi. It's honestly one of the reasons, that we didn't do the RV. There's so many ways that you can digital nomad, first of all, so many, it's innumerable. We just happened to choose the Airbnb because solid Wi-Fi, dishwasher, washer, dryer, space where the cats can run and my husband and I can get some breathing room from each other, all that kind of stuff. But, the traveling portion, it really depends on how you do it. Yeah. But no matter how you end up being a digital nomad, you just have to do your due diligence. You have to plan, around Wi-Fi, whether it's you go to a cafe, whether you have some sort of satellite link, all that kind of stuff. You just have to do your due diligence.
That's crazy. Cause I mean, like I was driving and this, man, you drive someplace and all of a sudden, man, your GPS is no longer connected, right? Like
we have struggled more to get cell phone reception than we have struggled to get Wi-Fi on this trip, honestly. Goodness. Yeah. So we've been, like I said, I've done my due diligence. When we get an Airbnb, we know that the Wi-Fi is going to be solid. There was only that one location that we really struggled, and we ended up having to purchase something additional just to get us through that 1 month. Yeah. But otherwise, no connectivity issues. But man, the cell reception in some places, even, I'm not in a small town right now, and I am struggling lately to get cell phone reception and get ways to work. So, it's, that has been a bigger problem.
So I've been married 23 years.
Okay.
23 years. And I couldn't imagine me and my wife being in that car. 600 days. How on earth are you guys doing it? Give some of us married people that like even the work from home, right? The telework. Like when we were doing it together, I was like, man, one of us gonna have to leave. Like this is like wait a minute, we can't just stay. Like it's 24 hours. Like you come home, right, and you can't even ask about your day because I know how your day was because I was
right. You were here, yeah.
What are you guys doing, man, to keep your marriage? You know what I mean, like fresh and not getting on each other's nerves?
I believe that it is a good combination of the exciting times together,
Yeah.
and also having hobbies, passions, and interests that are our own. So, for example, we may have that moment where, for example, skiing, when we were in Santa Fe last week,
Right.
Greg, my husband, I was skiing and he was there for moral support because it was the first time I'd ever been on skis. I never, he didn't even know how to put on the boot, nothing. Right. And he was there for moral support and cheering me on. And, he walked up the ski hills and, clapped and cheered for me, as I was trying not to fall. And, but that was an amazing experience that I had never had. And I loved sharing it with him. And so we got to talk about that from each of our perspectives, right? Because we each had a different perspective because he didn't participate. But then there's things where we will go and share, if we go river rafting or something like that, we do it together. And so there's conversation about, well, I loved this and what did you like? And, all that. But then Greg is a road cyclist. He road cycles about 700 miles per month. Which means that he is out on his bike away from me, having his own thing, his own time. He absolutely loves it. I love to hike. He hates hiking. He does. He's like, I hate the hiking. And so he doesn't really go with me. It's very rarely that he will hike with me. Yeah. I am extremely passionate about hiking. It's my favorite place in the world to be out with nature and the quiet and the beauty. And so we each have that for our own. Yeah. And so we go, we do our separate thing, and then we're able to come back at the end of the day and say, this is what I experienced. Here's my pictures. Look at what I saw. This happened. And for him, the same thing, and so we have that separate but together time. And I do also have to say, my husband is incredible. He is and always has been everything that I've needed him to be when I've needed him to be that. And so, I just feel really blessed to have this incredible man in my life because I am a powerhouse of a woman. And God bless him. He knows how to handle that. And honestly, he just gets out of my way, lets me do my thing. Right. And he's probably just in the back, holding on to his hat so it doesn't blow off.
What's his name again?
Greg.
Greg, shout out, man. You the MVP, brother. Keep it up. Hey, 'cause a lot of times, man, we want to fix it and we want to be there. And sometimes, well, I know personally, because my wife is an alpha female too. And sometimes I just get out the way and just, and I'll become a cheerleader. And, and I'm not going to tell you to stop. You do what you want. Keep it moving. And then when you get done, I'll be here and we can talk. Good. Hey,
exactly.
And that's solid, man, because a lot of times separation does bring you near. And I think that the strategy that you guys have come up with is solid and it's amazing. And you can keep it fresh and exciting. Talk to me about Greece. You said it in there a couple times, and I understand where Greece is. It's not in America. We all know that.
Right.
Why Greece?
First of all, we're limited by the countries that we can go to because we're actually traveling with our cats. We have our cats with us on the road now. Right. When we go international in 2023, we'll have our cats with us then. So that limits significantly the travel that we can have based on other countries' restrictions of bringing our animals in for short or long periods, right? Yeah. And so when we looked at the countries that were available to us, right. Greg and I had shortened the list together to about 4 countries. And we both agreed that at the same time of that list, we would say the country that was in our heart to go to.
Yeah.
And we both said Greece at the same time. And it's something that Greg has wanted to travel to since he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
It was a trip that he was never able to make in his youth, despite traveling most of the world in his youth. But for me, it was something that I have just seen repetitively in movies and TV shows. That blue aqua water, Santorini with the blue tops and, the white sides of the houses, brick roads. And, so Greece is so vast, right? There's so many different aspects to Greece. Santorini is not Greece. It's just part of Greece.
Right.
There's so much, and it's all so varied and different.
Yeah.
And we're excited to go to all the different islands and experience those, go to Athens, the countrysides. I just think it's so beautiful, and it's calling to both of us equally, very strong.
Yeah.
But the idea is Greece in 2023, Portugal in 2024, and Spain in 2025. So that's our plan.
You living. And I'm a traveler. Like, I love traveling. I've been Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Israel, Tel Aviv. Like, I've been to Africa. Like, I've been to so many places. I'm a fan of traveling. And one thing that I noticed is that when you get there, like, it's just a different feel. It makes you feel different. You know what I mean? And my wife, she always wants to talk about, like, oh, we ought to just leave and go here. It's so many places that's beautiful. And I'm like, no, I want to stay in Texas. And she's like, no, I want to do that. So what we do, we make, we come up with an arrangement to where we can get to go to these places, and she can get her feel and I can get my feel of Texas, so I can always got somewhere to come back to.
Right.
Which one of you guys decided on selling all the stuff? Like, was it you came to your husband, you're like, hey, I'm selling everything, we're living on the road? Or was he like, you know what, let's go nomad? Like, which one of you guys decided?
If you knew us directly, you would know that Greg would not come up with that on his own. He loves his stuff. He loves it, right? Very attached to physical, tangible items. Really, I think it evolves around how he processes the memories associated with those things.
Yes.
Right? And so, he was never going to be like, let's go. So basically, years ago, I had come up with this idea. We looked at a Sprinter van. We had put the deposit down. The day that we were ready to go pick it up and get on the road, he goes, I can't do it. I can't live in a van. It's too small. Right. And so we put that on pause. Yeah. We reconfigured our plan. Right. I worked on the bookkeeping business, focused on that. And then, right around the time that COVID came, it was really coming back up inside of me. Yeah. I have this successful business, and while my life is markedly better than when I was in the corporate world making six figures, right? To be on my own, to live my own moral code, to be in charge of my own life, body, schedule, all of that, it just still didn't feel like enough. Yeah. And so, it just was this process of this evolution of, I need change. I need to expand. I need to experience new things. What is going to bring that into my life? Yeah. And that's when I came up with this idea, proposed it to him. And his first thought was, that's great when I retire, which is what I hear so many people say. There's always a point in time in the future, but it's never now or today, right? Yeah. And so I just lovingly looked at him and said, I love you. You're 18 years older than me, and you're likely going to pass before me, and we have not had our best life yet
Yeah.
together. The
Yeah.
time together, right? You're always working, I'm working, the hair's on fire, right? We
Yeah.
bring home the leftovers.
Yeah.
And so, I just told him, I was like, if we do this
Yeah.
and you die a year from now, will you have regretted it? And he's like, hell no, I'm not going to regret it. And I'm like, then what are we waiting for? Let's do it. Let's do it now. Let's not wait.
Yeah.
And finally he was like, you're right. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's solid. That's solid. And I talk a lot about running out of summers, and COVID was good to you because it gave you the ability to start this thing. But for me, when COVID came, I saw a lot of people passing away, right? And when I say passing away, and people, I'm not talking about like old guys. I'm talking about like people that were my age and younger, like they were getting these things, and you can see just like inside of my mind, I could see it shift to where, like, I don't know how many summers I have. So why am I not being happy with what I have left? Because just like you say, if he goes next year or if he goes tomorrow, am I going to regret not taking that chance on myself? Am I going to regret not going to these places just so I can keep paying bills? Like I don't understand the math behind that. So what I started doing, and I did 20 years in the military, so I was able to retire at 40, which is
nice.
Pretty, it's real nice, actually. But it gives me the ability to still be young, still be able to follow some of my dreams, but I can be a little bit more loose with my life, right? I don't have to be just go to work, come home, cook dinner, go to sleep, go to work. And you do that five days a week. Don't be on call for nobody. Saturday comes around, what you do, you knock out all the stuff that you didn't do in the week, which for me it was laundry, and which I hate, which is start there. So Saturday is just all my honeydew list, right? Then Saturday, all my honeydews. Sunday, I'm recouping because I know in the morning I got to go back at it. And it didn't benefit me personally, mentally, spiritually, none of that stuff. And essentially it kind of hurt like the marriage because we was never together. And I like being separated, but I like being together also. It's a thing. What was one of the biggest misconceptions that you had when you started this nomad lifestyle? What was the biggest misconception?
That traveling with my cats was going to be easy. It has been hell. It has been hell. Yes. Oh my God. We are exhausted by our cats. Oh my Lord. We were not prepared for their dislike of constant change. Like, cat owners will regularly talk about cats don't like change. But I mean, it's been almost 2 years. You'd think that they would like get on with it, that they'd get with the program, but dang. Oh yeah, it's been tough. It's been really tough.
Goodness gracious, like you really feeling that.
Yeah, no. I mean, we are so tired. Yeah, like they go through their ups and downs. They struggle with some houses, and I think it's the energy, right? The energy of the city, or the energy of, if they're surrounded by water, like we were in Florida, in the Florida Keys, they really lost their minds. I mean, we literally in the Florida Keys had to take shifts. Greg would stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning. I'd get up at 2 or 3 in the morning so that he could go to sleep. And then I'd go to sleep again at 10. So he would get up at 9 or 10. I'd go to sleep at 9 or 10 and sleep till noon. Right. And so it's been like having newborn children for 2 years, traveling with these cats. And sometimes, like right now, they're doing a lot better, but they get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And so I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, feed them, start working. So I'm in bed between 8 and 9 o'clock, like I'm 102 years old or something. I don't know, but I mean,
Gracious.
yeah, I was not prepared for how they would find it difficult to adjust to the constant change. Well, I'm loving the constant change in my life, but them not so much.
That was probably one of the best stories I ever got. Man, hey, you know what? That you never know, but you love them to death.
I love them.
Love them to death.
Yes, we would not change anything. I would still get on the road if I knew how difficult it was going to be. And no doubt, putting them on an airplane for the first time to go to Greece, we're mentally preparing ourselves. We're trying to make things as easy as possible. We're trying to think ahead of how we can make this easier on them. And then, the energy, like you said, you land and it feels different. Well, no doubt they'll feel that way too, right? We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto, right? Like we landed somewhere completely different. This feels different. And so, we are already structuring time for us all to recuperate from them, potentially losing their minds, but we're also trying to manifest, this is going to be easy. This is going to be fun. They're going to adjust, right? I don't want to create an issue where there isn't one. We are just leaving space for them to adjust if needed.
Talk to me about your destination guide. So I went to the website and I was looking at all this stuff, man, and you got dots and you're all over Tennessee and Texas, and I think I saw one in New Mexico or somewhere, man. There was dots all over the place.
Yeah,
man.
North Carolina,
I like North Cat. Talk to me about the destinations guide, man. What is that and what is it about?
Sure. So as I mentioned at the top of our conversation, we found so many people wanted this life, but so many people go, I don't know how to do this. Like, where do I even start? One of the benefits of having our boots on the ground as we are traveling the country, we did the whole East Coast in 1 year, the whole West Coast in another year. And so we have the benefit of saying, this place was awful. This place was great. And so we created the destination guides as a starting point for people who are either already digital nomads looking for places to go, or people who want to start the digital nomad life in whatever form is right for them, right? Whether they're full-time, part-time, quarter-time, whatever it is, so that they have a starting point to say, hey, I can go here. Here's a list of all the things I can do, great places to eat, right? Places to stay. It cuts down all of the, investigation that they're having to do, all of that research. And so it's just a great starting point for people.
That's solid. That's solid. And what, a lot of times when we travel, I look at like people's reviews and I look at people that have been there, and that's what it sounds like. You out there, you're reviewing these places, and like for someone like me, I think I'd be like a quarter nomad, but it'll justify going to the site, clicking the button, like, oh man. And I'm a foodie too. Like I am a food person. So if it's something and I've never been there, I'm gonna try it. I'm not gonna get the chicken nuggets. I'm not getting the pizza.
Right.
Like I'm gonna get the stuff that's from there, that's specific to that region or that location. So that sounds amazing. And next time we go on a vacation and we're doing something inside of the US, I'm definitely going to look at you, see where you've been. I'm going to travel with you.
Oh, awesome. Well, also reach out to me because, if you're a foodie, oh my gosh, one of the myths that we love busting is that small towns have terrible food. I have eaten in a small town that was so small. I really, honestly, no joke, wasn't sure if we passed through it, right? And when we were looking for this restaurant,
Yeah.
and it's owned, I can't remember her name right off the top of my head right now, but it's owned by a woman who has her own TV show. And, she's a chef. She's got multiple books. She went to this small town that was dying in agriculture.
Yeah.
I can't remember what their agriculture was. I think it was tobacco.
Yeah.
But they were dying, and she brought in this restaurant and said, you grow the food, I'll buy it from you. We'll have this restaurant. People will fly in.
Yeah.
And they do. People fly in to eat there with her in this tiny map dot town that has not much more to offer. It has some other lovely things, but I mean, it's not it's not Nashville. It's not a huge destination. Is my point.
Yeah.
So I mean, contact me. I have a list of, oh my gosh, amazing food that I have had in the last 2 years.
Dig that. So that's an easy one. That's an easy one. So you get ready for some off camera questions. So you had the questions. Ashley sent you the questions.
Yes.
Guys, she did well. Alise killed it. I love it. Now we get into my favorite part. My favorite part is the end when I ask you the word phrase association. So here's the rules. I'm gonna give you 2 options or a phrase. You have to pick one straight off the dome. We're going in. All right.
All right.
Would you prefer doing the destination guides or hiking? No, don't make that face. Where we at? I told you.
Hiking.
Wait a minute. You just told me that you love putting up people on with all the locations, but you would rather go out there in the woods and up the rocks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you had to think about it, though.
I did. It was hard. It was really hard because I love them both.
Yeah. Second one. You can only go one place. One place. Where are you going?
Costa Rica. I've been there 7 times. It is the place that I feel the most connected physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I feel all parts of me are completely aligned.
Yeah.
And joyous when I am anywhere in Costa Rica. I love it.
Too easy. And that might change when you go to Greece and Spain.
It might.
But right now,
it would be hard though, because it's such a spiritual pull for me.
Yeah.
It would be hard to replicate that. But hey, I am ready to have that kind of alignment in my life every day.
I dig it, sister. Last one. When I give you the phrase, this is my moment, first thing comes to your mind. This is my moment.
This moment. I have spent so much of my life being conditioned to living in the future or living in the trauma of my past that I have worked for the last several years to really work through and transcend.
Yeah.
That for the first time in my life, I feel like this journey has helped me to find the present moment, to find the joy in now rather than searching for something or constantly planning or being in the future.
Yeah.
And so for the first time, I feel like now is my moment.
Yes.
Right. And that is incredible. That is incredible to feel that way about the now moment.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I've never felt before. And I am so grateful that I am learning to find this love, this passion, this joy in the here and now.
You killed it. Everything that you were talking, it was like literally like I'm listening to you. Like, and I'm writing notes, right? And this is my moment. And you were right on, man. Like, you know what? I'm not waiting till tomorrow. I'm finna go get it right now because I can and I want to and I am. Let's go.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's how I live my life. Let's go. Wild and free right here. Like,
Thank you so much, Alise, for coming out. Thank you for being a part of the This Is My Moment family. We appreciate it. Your energy is ridiculously contagious. I love it. You got more juice. Man, I'm pretty juiced up. You have it, man. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Good luck. Be patient with the cats. And go out there,
yes.
go out there, man, and enjoy it. Thank you so much. Don't move. Hey, guys, Alise said it, man. Find the joy in your now. It's all right. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to wait for the future. You can be in the moment right now. Be in charge of your own. Man, that's solid advice. Go get it!
There ain't no stopping it. This is my moment. Join the movement. We bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all about growth, all about success. We want to see you rise, want to see